Awesome. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Angela Poff here with Dominic D'Agostino. We are two of the co-organizers of Metabolic Health Summit. And we just wanted to jump on today for a few minutes to chat with you, give you some updates about the upcoming event and some other cool things that we have going on that we're really excited about. So how are you doing, Dom?
I'm doing well. Yeah, things are going great in the lab, outside the lab. Had some very interesting podcast interviews with some guests.
Awesome.
I guess, I'll talk about later some of the topics that we covered, some interesting Q&As coming up from that people will want to listen to, that will be asking for their questions for upcoming Q&As. And yeah, just excited. Lots of stuff going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Same here. You may notice that we're missing our third or co-organizer, Victoria Field. She's currently on maternity leave. So we are missing her terribly, but of course, wishing her the absolute best during these special few months. Wishing lots of good sleep and relaxation as much as she can get. So we will try to struggle through it. We had some technical difficulties. That's why we're popping on here a little bit later than we normally would have. Without Victoria, Dom, and I, we just don't know what we're doing on this. Yes. So you'll have to bear with us. So first of all, I just wanted to give a quick update. If you don't know already, Metabolic Health Summit 2024 is coming up actually pretty soon. It feels like the weeks are flying by at this point. It's going to be January 25th to 28th in Clearwater Beach here in Florida, which we're really excited about. January is an amazing time to visit the beach here in Florida. It's beautiful weather. It's honestly probably, I enjoy going to the beach in the winter here a lot more than in the summer. Not so crowded, not so hot. It's really, really nice. And the event's going to be held at the Wyndham Grand on Clearwater Beach. And this hotel is really excellent. I had the opportunity to stay there a couple weeks ago as I was on site doing some logistics and planning for the organization of the event. And I was just really excited about that choice because it's a really cool spot. Have you ever been around there, Dom, at that hotel?
Yes, I stayed once a long time ago, maybe before I took the position at USF, but yeah, it's like, it is the pinnacle of Clearwater Beach in regards to the location, just the beauty and the vastness of the hotel. And yeah, and the surrounding sites and the pier and everything's right there, kind of like, so you can enjoy the meeting, enjoy the expo, enjoy everything that the conference has to offer, and then jump right on the beach and enjoy all the activities on the beach too, including the pier, which is pretty cool at nighttime. They have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, absolutely. They do like sunset festivals down there on the pier, and lots of little like local vendors and shops, which is always really fun. And yeah, the beach there is just gorgeous. They call it sugar sand because it's very soft white sand. One of the best beaches in the world, in my opinion. But you guys come out and see for yourself. So end of January 25th to 28th. If you want to stay at the hotel, the venue hotel, definitely book your room sooner than later. We are about 3/4 of the way sold out on our hotel block. So you can get a discounted room rate for the nights of the event. There are still rooms available, but don't wait too much longer because we will definitely sell out of that discounted block. But there's lots of options in the area as well. It's a very popular part of town. So lots of options. But if you want to stay on site, definitely do that. You can find you can reserve through our room block if you go to our website, metabolichealthsummit.com, and click on about, and you'll see a link there that says reserve my room. So definitely do that if you're interested. One other thing I wanted to mention that is the window to participate in is closing in just a couple of weeks is our scientific poster session. So the deadline to submit your abstract is November 1st. So that's coming up in just a few weeks, not very much longer. And we want to get as many abstracts submitted as we can. The poster session is always one of our favorite parts of the event. It's a really cool way to showcase your science. And if your abstract is accepted, we'll send you a 20% off your registration code, which helps a little bit as a thank you for participating in the session. Dom, why don't you kind of describe the poster session and why it's such an important part of an academic conference like MHS?
Yeah, well, the poster session is super interesting because it gives you a window and into the metabolic research that's being done before it's actually published, right? So that's one key aspect of it. And most importantly, I think poster sessions were so instrumental for me as an up and coming scientist. When I was an undergrad, my mentor sent me to experimental biology in like 1997, I think. And then it was a poster session where I really understood what science was, because you can talk directly to the scientists and the investigators, and you can have a conversation about the science. Unlike, at a platform talk, you get to see it, but you don't talk. You have direct access to the scientists at the poster session. So that makes it very unique learning opportunity and networking opportunity. So for me, that's how I met my postdoctoral fellowship mentor, and many of key collaborators like in our lab at poster sessions. So if you are a student or you're just someone like in the field that wants to have access to the actual researchers, clinicians, basic science researchers, or anyone presenting a poster, highly recommend if you're doing science to submit a poster, but to attend the session so you get a window into the pipeline of the science that's not yet published yet.
Yeah,
so it's a very dynamic. Like in the past, our poster sessions have been very dynamic. It's like a lot of energy, I guess you could say, is going on, and just a lot of enthusiasm for the research that's going on. And we do have Ketone Technologies sponsors an award for posters, Keto Nutrition and Ketone Technologies. So submit and you can have a travel award opportunity for that. And there's more information about that on the website too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So on the website, if you click on abstracts at the top, you can find all the details on how to prepare your abstract and submit, and how to apply for the generous travel awards that Dom was just mentioning. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Dom. It's just a really rare opportunity to connect very personally with the people who are doing the science, and to showcase your own science. And you get such great feedback. A lot of people come by and stand and talk to you at your poster for 10-15 minutes, and you really get to think and pick their brains, and vice versa. It's a really cool part of the event. So if you're thinking about submitting an abstract, please make sure that you do that soon. November 1st is the deadline. We also, if you've been to MHS before, you probably remember that we like to host wellness classes at the conference, just a way to get everyone moving. And we try to incorporate it into the beautiful venue of wherever we're staying. And so we're excited that this year we're going to do that again. We are planning to have morning breath work sessions on the beach. So that beautiful beach that's just steps away from the conference venue. Each morning, we will hold a breathwork session out there on the beach before it gets crowded, before anyone else shows up. It's just a magical time. And if you were at MHS 2022, you maybe attended a breathwork session and met Samuel Whiting, who was leading the breathwork sessions, did a fantastic job. Sam, I'll read his bio here so I don't get anything wrong. So he describes himself as a human potential specialist, exploring science-based actionable tools and practices from breathing to cold exposure, nervous system development techniques to enhance physiology and psychology. And participating in a breathwork session led by Sam is truly a surreal experience, and we're super excited that he's going to be coming all the way from California to the event this year in Florida to lead those classes again. It was just such a great partnership last year. We had to hope that he would come out again. So he's agreed to do that. We're really excited to have him. And some of you guys have been asking about when we'll have signups for those wellness classes. That'll be coming soon. Just stay tuned to make sure you're on our email, signed up for our email newsletters, and we'll be sending out details on how to reserve those spots, because they are limited capacity, of course. So first come, first serve for whoever signs up the fastest. So keep an eye on your email and you'll see more about those wellness classes soon. Let's see. Okay. Do you want to talk about some of the new speakers that have signed on recently,
Yeah.
Dom?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
cool.
we'd just like to add to that the beaches and the sunsets and the wildlife, you'll see the birds on the Gulf Coast beaches are amazing. And, actually you could look at Chilla, my wife, her recent Facebook post, I think, shows so how clear the water is, how white the sand is, and how amazing. I mean, it's really like these are like the top beaches like in the world.
Yeah.
And
not just us saying it, other people vote.
No.
So
yeah, before I moved here, I think it was that year that either Honeymoon Island or Caladesi Beach, it was like made the top beach like in the world. So
yeah.
It's pretty very cool. Nice beaches.
Yes.
Yeah. So on the podcast front. Yes.
Oh,
yes. So that's what you asked about. Yeah. Wow. I had a couple amazing interviews with this week and maybe last week too. One of them, Kyle Gillette, gave a fantastic interview. Kyle is double board certified in family medicine and also obesity medicine. And Kyle is like, his knowledge is so vast and so deep in so many different areas. I mean, in family medicine, you have to know everything, right? And then he has really in-depth information that he was able to give and knowledge in obesity medicine, especially in the context of pharmaceuticals, but also metabolic health. And he has his 6 pillars of health that we discussed on this podcast. And, everybody who's attended MHS is going to love all what we dive into: exercise, diet, sleep, stress, sunlight, and also another pillar of his last 6 pillar is spirit, and actually really talks about the philosophy behind that and how that's integrated into and how he works with different clients on that. And we delve into blood testing, we delve into ApoB, we delve into hormone replacement therapy, the use of supplementation to augment your hormone levels. And I talk about my own situation, my blood work, DHEA. He delves into hair loss protocols relating to hormones.
How long were you guys talking? Because I feel like you covered a lot.
Yeah. So I had, I shamelessly, wanted to ask him a lot of questions related to my blood work. And so we delved into that topic. And then that was like the first 30 minutes. And then he delved into the 6 pillars and how he approaches the 6 pillars, especially exercise and sleep and diet with each of his patients, and really personalizes the approach. So that was a super interview, and that's being processed now, be released soon. And yesterday, an interview with Franziska Spritzler, who has a very unique background. She worked, at the VA hospital, and she was a dietitian for Diet Doctor, and now she's in South Florida, and she's been an author on Healthline and magazines and various publications, and just one of the very first registered dietitians that I connected with over a decade ago. And
I remember also I remember Franziska visiting the lab. It must have been 2012, maybe, a really long time ago, right?
Yeah, almost 10 years ago. Actually, I had to look up my email and found some early emails. It was about almost 10 years ago where she came and visited the lab, and she was an early attendee to the very first Metabolic, when it was called Metabolic Therapeutics Conference. So we talked a little bit about that and about the evolution of her practice and what actually she does. And she's got an amazing toolbox of knowledge, experience, and expertise in guiding her, the people that she consults with. But she's really working on developing a platform and really promoting. She's working with Metabolic Mind and helping, the education outreach on that front. She assists a lot of people with general low carb diets, high protein, low carb diets, but also ketogenic diets, and has a lot of interesting thoughts on different types of foods that work, that don't work, fasting. We covered pretty much every topic you can think about regarding the implementation of a low carb diet, optimizing it, and personalizing it to the patient. So she's an encyclopedia of knowledge on the implementation of diet protocols, like one of the best in the world. So I'm very thankful that we had access to her for over an hour, and she gave a great interview. So I'm excited about that. And another upcoming sort of conversation that I'm excited about is Dr. Lane Norton. We'll have on for a Q&A. Lane's a great friend of mine. I've had him over at the house the last couple of weekends with his family. Amazing family, amazing kids. We have so much fun around the house here, and we continue to talk about science when we do our stuff outside. But please send your questions. Maybe you could ping us. Maybe we'll post something like on social, and then we'll compile all the questions. But Lane is an encyclopedia of knowledge as it relates to the implementation of nutrition and exercise programs for optimizing body composition, performance, and so many aspects of metabolic health. So he's a great friend of mine, and we agree on pretty much everything. A few things I wouldn't even say we disagree on that. We share the vast majority of topics we are definitely on the same page about, and we like to just kindly debate some of the other topics. So
it keeps it fun, right? That's like part of science. It's all, you know, you gotta push back and see all sides of things, and you know.
And we tend to meet in the middle, and we've got a great book, and I'm going to plug his book because Christy and I wrote the chapter in Fat Loss Forever, which is, if you guys are listening and you want like a book just for optimizing your body composition, maximizing your muscle mass and decreasing your body fat, Fat Loss Forever is really good. I read it from cover to cover, and actually Lane has a ketogenic diet chapter in his book in Fat Loss Forever that we worked quite a bit on that. And so that's an amazing tool for people. And Lane can kind of share some of the other things that he's working on, but it's really an opportunity. The Q&A is an opportunity for you guys to ask questions to us both. And we just love talking science, and we're excited to have Lane part of, MHI and
that's going to be such an exciting Q&A. And just to make sure everyone knows kind of how they can get involved in this, is the Q&A that Dom was mentioning with Dr. Lane Norton will be happening on Tuesday, October 17th at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And it happens inside the Metabolic Initiative platform. So that's our newly launched medical education platform dedicated to all things science and application of metabolic targeted therapies and metabolic health in general. And every month we have an expert guest that comes on and does a live hour-long Q&A session for the Metabolic Initiative members. And if you're a member of the Metabolic Initiative, you can participate in that live Q&A, ask your questions to the experts directly. We just launched in August, so we've already had some really amazing Q&As happen. I think in August, we had Dr. Sarah Gottfried. In September, we had Dr. Chris Palmer. We're going to have Dr. Lane Norton coming up this month. In October, next month, I believe we have Dr. Gabrielle Lyon that's going to be participating, and we'll be releasing information on future guests soon. So that's a really cool way to be able to access some of the best minds in this field and get your questions answered. We do have, if you're a member of the platform and you go to the landing page for this Q&A, which you can find in your video library, there is a form where you can submit questions there ahead of time. So if something pops into your head and you want to make sure that it gets on the list of things to answer, make sure you put it there. We have a lot of questions that come in. I think with Dr. Palmer, there was so many questions. I'm not sure if you guys were able to get through all of them, but we love that participation from the community. And that's why, we added that as one of the features of the Metabolic Initiative, because networking and communicating is such an important part of what we do in advancing the field. So Dr. Norton will be our October Q&A guest on the Metabolic Initiative. And Dom was mentioning earlier his interviews with Franziska Spritzler and Dr. Kyle Gillette. They are both MHS speakers, so they'll be at the conference in January in Clearwater, which we're really excited to have them. And they also, the interviews that Dom just did with them will be coming out as episodes of the Metabolic Link podcast. And those will be released over the next couple months. So that'll be a fun way to kind of get a preview of maybe the kind of presentation they might be giving in January, and just get to spend a little bit more time with some of these really awesome minds. So that's pretty much the theme of Metabolic Health Summit and Metabolic Health Initiative in general, what we do, just trying to provide evidence-based information on all things metabolic health. And we love to get the community involved as well. So if you want to know more about anything that we're doing, check out our website, www.metabolicinitiative.com. You can find a link to the summit page there, which you can register for Metabolic Health Summit. You can also find a link to the Metabolic Initiative membership platform if you're interested in that as well. And so I think, unless there's anything else, Dom, you wanted to chat about.
Yeah, I'd like to add, because all three, like Kyle Gillette and then Francesca Spritzler, and also Lane, when he was over, the topic of non-nutritive sweeteners always comes up. And because these are like big things in the keto world. And actually, I've been testing RX Sugar. This is a chocolate bar, and I've been using a continuous glucose monitor, and allulose has been, kind of put on my radar. And I've been testing, some of the self-experimenting that I'm doing is with allulose, and had some questions for Lane, because I've never heard him kind of address allulose before, but he's actually a big fan of it, as was Kyle and Francisca too. And so that's a sort of a deep dive area. So that's maybe not a non-nutritive sweetener, but a sugar alternative. It would kind of fall in that camp. But yeah, so I think if you guys have questions in particular, I know it's kind of a polarizing topic on non-nutritive sweeteners or sugar substitutes, including monk fruit and erythritol and xylitol and allulose, of course. We're thinking about writing a comprehensive review on this topic. So send us your questions, and that'll be, I'm personally interested in it as we're doing some research in this area too. So
yeah,
just wanted to throw that out there. So
no, that's great. Really good point. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll be chatting soon. So till then, I'll see you around, Dom, and everyone else. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon as well.
Thanks, everybody.